Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the material for the second week, namely the first rank on the rank scale, as you recall, the morpheme. So the morpheme is the lowest unit on the rank scale, and the highest unit, as you have already seen, is the sentence. In syntax, we do not go beyond the sentence level. So now, the morpheme is defined as the smallest unit that bears meaning. Every morpheme has a meaning. In fact, morphemes form or make words. A morpheme can form a word, but not any morpheme or every morpheme can form a word. Only free morphemes, that is independent morphemes, can form words on their own. That is, one free morpheme, yes, forms a word. But we do have what is known as dependent morphemes or bound morphemes, and these do not form words solo, individually. That is, one bound morpheme cannot form a word, because these bound morphemes are always parts of words, but they are not words themselves individually. That is. So we have two types of morphemes: free morphemes or independent morphemes, and bound morphemes or dependent morphemes. Dependent, that is, they depend in their existence on other morphemes. Let's have an example. Let's take the word unhappily, which is an adverb. How many morphemes does this word? Because a word is made up of morphemes. It's made up of, as you can see, three morphemes: un, happy, and ly. Now, happy is a free morpheme. Un is a bound morpheme or a dependent morpheme. The ly is also a dependent morpheme or a bound morpheme. Now, every word has a root. The root of this word is, in fact, happy, the adjective happy. Whereas the base is the word unhappy. And what is the difference in between a root and a base? The root of a word, like in here happy, is that morpheme in the word that remains after you remove all prefixes, in this case an, or suffixes ly. So what are we left with? We're left with happy. So happy is the root, but unhappy is the base, because it is from unhappy that we derive, you see, unhappily. Okay? Now, the roots of words in English are most often free morphemes. However, there are examples or cases of words where the root of a word is a bound morpheme. Here are three examples. Sieve in conceive is the root of the word conceive. Tain is the root in contain. And fa is the root in confer. Now, sometimes a bound morpheme may have one or more phonetic variants. By phonetic variants, we mean, pronunciations, that is. And to be more specific, these are called Al-Omoushs, that is, small forms of morphemes. Here is an example. the plural morpheme, that is S1. The plural morpheme has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Al-Omoushs. Hat, plural of hat is hats. So the S and S follows a voiceless obstruent. It. You cannot say hats because this is humanly impossible. G in dog, see, is a voiced obstruent. So because it is voiced, it makes the plural morpheme, the S, voiced more like it. So you get dogs. Dog, dogs. You do not say dog, dogs. Impossible. Now, when the word or the noun ends with a sibilant, and sibilant sounds are 6: sa, za, sh, j, and ch, and j. So you have is, the short vowel e, and is. So bus, buses, buzz, buzzes, bush, bushes, rouge, rouges, or mirage, mirages, church, churches, judge, judges. Okay. Now you have this allomorph here. N, ox, oxen, which is the only word which forms its plural this way. Of course, we do have brother, brethren for religious or social brotherhood. Then zero, deer, deer, cattle, cattle, and so forth. Here is another example of the allomorphs of a morpheme. Let's take the negative morpheme in. So we have the following allomorphs of the negative morpheme in. We have in, impossible. We do not say impossible because there is assimilation in point of articulation between the, you see, the n and the up. So the n becomes more like the up, it becomes bilabial. So you get is bilabial, it's a bilabial nasal stop, and the up is an oral, bilabial oral stop. So possible, impossible. Tolerant, the at is alveolar, so the n agrees with it in point of articulation. Intolerant. Now complete, the ek is velar, so the nasal becomes velar, so you get incomplete. Now when the word starts with an L, the N becomes completely an L. There is total assimilation. Illogical. Irregular. Full assimilation likewise. Now then we come to the classification of morphemes, according to whether they are bound, i.e. dependent morphemes, or free, that is independent morphemes. It is free morphemes that can stand on their own, and therefore they can form words. Apple, study, strange are morphemes, independent morphemes, and they are words themselves. Now, bound or dependent morphemes can never ever stand on their own. And these are of two subtypes. Prefixes, that is, these that come at the beginning of a word, and prefixes in English are always derivational. Here are some examples: in, pre, and re, and so forth. And they show up also in terms of suffixes, either derivational or inflectional. Derivational, that is, they derive new words and new word classes, essentially. Govern, government. Read, readable. Class, classify. Beautiful, beautifully. Love, lovely, and so on and so forth. Inflectional, are 8 inflections: 2 on the noun, 4 on the verb, and 2 on the adjective. In fact, English used to be like its sister language, German, or its cousin language, French, or Italian, or Romanian, or Spanish. It used to be a highly inflectional language, but English has lost most of its inflections and has simplified its structure a lot, and you're left with only 8 inflections. Two in the noun, the plural S, plural morpheme, the genitive, i.e., possessive S, plural morpheme like boy, boys, cat, cats. The genitive S, that like John's book. This is Ali's book. This is Selma's pen. Genitive, possessive S. On the verb, 4 inflections also. The present tense third person singular like read, reads. The past tense morpheme ed1 like book, booked. And the ed2, ed participle, that is the past participle form, that is ed2, like given, for the verb give, and the ing participle ing. On the adjectives, you have 2 inflections, the comparative er like tall, taller, big, bigger, and the superlative, that is the tallest, the biggest, and so forth. This is as far as the classification of morphemes in particular. Okay, be they free or bound. So they are either free morphemes, that is independent morphemes, and these alone can form words, and the bound or dependent morphemes. Now then we come to the structure of the word, and that is chapter 5 in the textbook. Here, when you talk about words, words are made up of morphemes. So a word is made up of one or more morphemes. If the word is made up of one morpheme, then that morpheme by necessity must be an independent morpheme, i.e., a free morpheme. So you have one morpheme words, free morpheme, that is friend, read, etc. Two or more morphemes, that is multimorphemes. You have words like searchlight, abundantly, conferred. Notice searchlight is a combination of 2 free morphemes. Abundantly is a combination of 1 free morpheme plus 1 bound morpheme, the ly. Then conferred is made up of 3 bound morphemes, can, fair, and ed, in fact. So we come now to multi-morpheme words. How do we form words? What are the word formation processes according to which we form words in the English language? In fact, there are 2 productive word formation processes essentially. The first one is affixation, and the second one is compound. In affixation, you either do prefixation like an in unfair, where you add the prefix an, show the negative form of fair, or suffixation, where you add a suffix like nas in here to the adjective fair, so you get the noun fairness. Affixation, in fact, is the most productive word formation process in English. The second word formation process is compounding. And as far as compounds are concerned, in English, they are of 3 subtypes. Either hyphenated, there is a hyphen in between 2 or more words, like duty and free, so there is a hyphen in between, or written as one word like handmade or searchlight upstairs, or they may be written as separate words like life insurance, car park, and so forth. Here are some examples of how compounds are formed. Noun plus noun, daylight, adjective plus noun, greenhouse, verb plus noun, searchlight, adverb plus noun, underwear. In fact, you may want to have a look at chapter 5 in the book, the structure of the word. See page 103, where you have the heading compounding and you have compounds. Here, see, you have a vertical column and you have a horizontal, if you like, column. You have words available vertically, عموديا, and words available horizontally. In other words, you add a noun to a noun to get, for example, daylight. So you add day to light, but not light to day. You add life to insurance. What kind of insurance? It's life insurance as opposed to medical insurance, for example. You add car to park. So it's a car park for cars, not, for example, an amusement park or a science park or a national park or whatever. So you see, noun plus noun. You can have adjective plus noun. Green plus house, greenhouse. Black plus board, man plus man, etc. Then verb plus noun. Pick to the noun bucket, the verb pick. The verb chew to the noun gum, you get chewing gum, which is a noun. Verb to a noun. Search to light, you get a searchlight, which is a noun, a light for searching, and so on and so on. Then you may add a noun to an adjective. Watertight. It is the word water that you add to the adjective tight to get watertight. Duty, the noun to free the adjective. You get the hyphenated duty free compound. Blood to red, garden to crash, and so forth. A noun to a verb. Add the noun gate to the verb crash. You get gate crash, which is, a verb, could also be used as a noun. Breath, the noun to the verb take to get the adjective breathtaking. That is wonderful, marvelous. The noun hand to the verb make to get handmade, which is an adjective. It's handmade as opposed to machine made. The noun air to the verb, the past participle of bear, born. So you get airborne, okay, which is an adjective also. You add a noun to an adverb. You add the noun passer, one who passes, to the adverb by passerby, that is one who passes by you always. The noun looker to the adverb on, looker on. So then adjective to a noun, adjective to an adjective to get, red hot, icy cold, bittersweet, shabby genteel. An adjective to a verb to get, for example, good looking, an adjective. Easy going, an adjective. Slow running, an adjective. Deep freeze, a verb. A verb to a noun, I mentioned this. A verb to a verb, hear to the verb say, you get hearsay, which is a noun, that is gossiping. Make to believe, which is a noun. Would to be, which is an adjective. Here would be husband, for instance, etc. And a verb to an adverb. Take over, which is, a noun. Hold to up, hold up, which is a noun. Lay to buy, lay by, which is a noun. Know to how, which results in a noun. Know how, knowledge, that is. An adverb to a noun. Over to quote. An adverb, counter to attack, the noun attack. An adverb, under to the noun word, to get under word, after to thought. An adverb to an adjective, wide awake, evergreen, مقهرة, oversensitive. Ill to treat, ill the adverb to the verb treat, ill treat, a verb. Under to estimate, underestimate, a verb. Hard hitting, an adjective. Well read, an adjective. An adverb to an adverb, henceforth. Now, in addition to this, in fact, to reading chapters 1 and this PDF, chapter 1, the morpheme, and the examples in there, and examples in the PDF in here, you should go over and do the exercises you see on the morpheme in the workbook, chapter 1. So you have a number of exercises. You have to go over these exercises and do these on your own. Okay. Likewise, in chapter 5, the structure of the word, you have a number of exercises also. You have to do these and practice analyzing words into their constituent morphemes, looking for the root and then looking for the prefixes and or suffixes. Okay. If you have any questions, you can raise your questions on Wednesday. I'll be seeing you on Wednesday. Section 3, we're having a meeting tomorrow to finish with the introduction. Bye bye for now. I'll be seeing you in the next class.